This edition of NDDC You takes you back to the Wali International Conference Center in Port Harcourt, where the Niger Delta Development Commission marked a major milestone, its 25th Anniversary Plenary Session. The event brought together stakeholders, past and present leaders, and development partners to reflect on the Commission's journey so far and to unveil new strategies for a more prosperous Niger Delta. From keynote addresses to policy dialogues, this session was a defining moment in NDDC's story. Let's take you through the highlights.
The NDDC has had 17 chief executives. This very high leadership turnover has also made it impossible for several projects to be completed, as each new leadership abandoned ongoing projects to establish new ones. The NDDC also suffered contract scam, as contracts awarded were either sold or abandoned. The failure in service delivery from the NDDC led to the frustration of Niger Deltans. They began to demand for an overhaul of the intervention agency. In the year 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari approved a forensic audit of the NDDC in order to retool its operations for a more efficient and impactful service delivery to peoples of the Niger Delta. After the forensic audit, a total of over 13,000 projects were discovered to be abandoned across the entire region. 2023, when President Bola Tinubu took over the reins of power as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he immediately brought order and sanity to the NDDC. He promptly appointed a complete board and management for the NDDC, led by astute administrator Mr. Chiedu Ebie from Delta State and apostle of transformational leadership, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku from Bayelsa State. He charged them to ensure that they use the commission to deliver the dividends of the renewed hope agenda to Niger Deltans.
We commemorate exactly 25 years since the federal government established the NDDC to drive the overall development of the Niger Delta. As the pioneer regional development commission in our country, the NDDC has indeed come a long way. Born out of the federal government's desire to advance holistic development of Niger Delta, the NDDC remains central and pivotal to the region's economic growth and material well-being of the people. This vital region and its people occupy an irreplaceable position in our nation, rich in hydrocarbon and agricultural resources, and blessed with outstanding human capital. This region has played a significant role in Nigeria's development before and after independence, a role it will undoubtedly continue to play in the years ahead. Community development is very close to my heart, particularly projects and programs that directly improve the lives of our citizens. I therefore reaffirm that the development, peace, well-being, and security of the Niger Delta region will remain a top priority of my administration. As I told the leaders of the region in March this year, the Niger Delta is the goose that lays the golden egg. We must care for the goose to continue reaping the benefits of the golden egg. Consequently, I pledge the full commitment of this administration to support the development of the region and empower the NDDC to fulfill its statutory mandate. A significant testament to this commitment is the swift constitution of the NDDC board early in the life of my administration. Indeed, the NDDC was one of the first full boards inaugurated shortly after I assumed office. This prompt action underscores the priority we place on the Commission as a vehicle for accelerating development in the Niger Delta. Since the inception of this administration, the NDDC has received increased funding from the federal government, enabling it to meet its obligations and deliver key projects. We will continue to ensure that the Commission remains adequately empowered to carry out its functions effectively.
Let me begin by congratulating Chief Ogbugu, along with past leaders of the Commission, for their invaluable contributions over the years, which have helped shape the NDDC into the institution we are celebrating today. As sons and daughters of the Niger Delta, this Silver Jubilee presents an opportunity for deep reflections on the Commission's unique journey, the milestones achieved across the region, the lessons learned over the 25 years, and indeed the critical work that still lies ahead of the Commission. My personal connection to this development agency, the NDDC, spans several decades. As I mentioned to you, many may not know that I once served in the defunct OMPADEC, which is the precursor to the NDDC. I served there as an assistant director in the Directorate of Environmental Protection and Pollution Control. I left there as an assistant director and become the deputy governor of my state, Bayelsa State. And of course, my journey, you all know. So that gives me a vantage position to have an idea of what has been happening in NDDC over the period. But something critical that I need to mention. Onyema Ogoshiku, the pioneer chairman, noted it. The frequent changes of the leadership of NDDC has been a problem of the development. When we listen to the keynote address, Ngozi mentioned numerous projects abandoned. It was not abandoned because the managers of NDDC wanted to do so, but the frequent changes made it that way. When you cannot plan, when there's no time to plan, agencies that go develop now resort to contractor-driven projects, not projects based on planning. From what the chairman said, over these 25 years, we have had 11 CEOs of NDDC. That means that each CEO, on the average, is 2 years, 3 months. So 2 years, 3 months, how can you plan? How can you finish projects that are significant to the sub-region? So let me sincerely thank Mr. President for retaining the CEO. And we are here celebrating this because he has stayed a little more than 2 years. Buhari appointed him in 2022, I think November or so, but he resumed duty on 4th of January 2023. Tinubu came on board May 2023. If Tinubu was not interested in developing this region, he would have removed him and give appointment to another person. He would have been just 5 months in office. Nobody would have heard about Ogbuku. We hear about Onyema Ogoshiku and Timi Alaibe because they stayed for a reasonable time. And within that period, they were able to put things on ground that people remember. So, Your Excellency, the Secretary of Government, if you are representing the President, so you are the President here, convey my sincere appreciation to him and urge that we want him to allow these people to complete their projects.
The NDDC has had 17 chief executives. This very high leadership turnover has also made it impossible for several projects to be completed, as each new leadership abandoned ongoing projects to establish new ones. The NDDC also suffered contract scam, as contracts awarded were either sold or abandoned. The failure in service delivery from the NDDC led to the frustration of Niger Deltans. They began to demand for an overhaul of the intervention agency. In the year 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari approved a forensic audit of the NDDC in order to retool its operations for a more efficient and impactful service delivery to peoples of the Niger Delta. After the forensic audit, a total of over 13,000 projects were discovered to be abandoned across the entire region. In 2023, when President Bola Tinubu took over the reins of power as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he immediately brought order and sanity to the NDDC. He promptly appointed a complete board and management for the NDDC, led by astute administrator Mr. Chiedu Ebie from Delta State, and apostle of transformational leadership, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku from Bayelsa State. He charged them to ensure that they use the commission to deliver the dividends of the renewed hope agenda to Niger Deltans.
Your Excellency, the former President, it is from you that I will start. I have a very long speech, but I've abandoned the speech for want of time. Anybody listening to your story will not know that there is an underlying fact, and that fact is nothing but humility. So God creates from nothing, and unless a man is nothing, God can make nothing out of such a man. That's the first quote. To the youths and future MDs of the NDDC, I want to say this, that Frank Fanon said clearly that every generation out of absolute obscurity must discover their mission. And when they discover that mission, they either fulfill it or betray it. The rest is left to you. Now, why did we have so much problems in NDDC? There were many reasons. Part of it was leadership tussle. In the Niger Delta region, we have what we call periwinkle politics. Periwinkle politics is politics of the same head. Everybody bears the same head. Nobody wants to wait for his turn. Everybody feels that he should be here and not the other person. So there was always this conspiratorial situation. Each management in the NDDC, from the management itself, they will conspire against themselves. And of course, those that you met on ground, the staff, will assist you to quarrel. And shortly after, they will send you away. Maybe one of them will become acting managing director. And I realized when I was Minister of Niger Delta that was a main issue. Let me even tell you a story. The NDDC for almost 20-something years stayed in a rented apartment on Aba Road, paying $300 million a year. And that apartment or that upstairs was not connected to the national grid. It would have taken less than $70 million to do so. But it was easier for them to give out contracts for diesel to all and sundry, $300 million, $500 million a month, without connecting that place to the national grid for over 20 years. We are here to let you know that, yes, past National Assembly members also saw your confusion and added more. So even before you can get your budget passed, they will also insist, do this for my region, do this. At the end, you bargainize the entire budget, and you could not complete even 10 kilometers of quality road for Niger Delta region. You left behind over 14,700 projects, abandoned, because regime change after regime change brought with it new projects, new ideas that were never crystallized. So today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has mounted the saddle as President of Nigeria. He has realized that continuous and consistent changes in the management of NDDC was totally inimical to the progress of the Niger Delta region. Hence, the reason why we have assessed the management under Dr. Sam Ogbuku and found it worthy to continue to complete his term, and if need be, have an extension in order to bring more progress to the Niger Delta region. So I salute you, Sam Ogbuku, and I salute all members of your management.
This partnership we have built is what has given us the success that we've recorded today. And the successes we have recorded today, I just have to tell you about one or two of those partnerships, because these partnerships were not new. Because when we came in, we had to introduce the policy of rewind to rebirth, because we believe we had to retrospect. In retrospecting, to ensure that we know what happened in the past and what we also have to look forward to in the future. After retrospecting, we thought, let us also introspect. Introspecting to see what we can do for the people of the Niger Delta. And those things we took out of the past was partnership. NDDC before us partnered with SPDC to build the Ogbe-Anembe Road. That road stands to be a flagship project of the NDDC. That road, we came in and were able to commission that project last year. It's a 27 kilometers road with several bridges and culverts. That was one of the takeaways we learned. And in improving on that, we decided to say, let us also build other relationships with IOCs. And in building those relationships with IOCs, we also approached Chevron to see how we can partner with Chevron to construct the Omadino-Escravos Road, which is another very big project of about 67 kilometers long. We're still in discussion with Chevron, and we believe very soon that will be consummated. We also decided to engage NLNG in partnership, and that partnership with NLNG today has midwifed the completion of some of our abandoned projects, which are ongoing right now. The Okrika-Brokri Road and Bridge, the Bonny Ring Road, the Ka-Ataba Bridge, just to mention a few. I can tell you that all those projects, contractors are now back on site working on those projects, and I can assure you that those projects are going to be completed. For the Ka-Ataba Bridge, we have assured that by ending of this year, that bridge will be completed. It is a 1.2 kilometer long bridge. Now, we looked at even our staff strength. When we came in, we inherited a highly demoralized staff that were underappreciated, highly indebted, and also stagnated with promotion. What we did was to ensure that we motivated our staff. And in motivating the staff, all areas of the allowances that were owed, we were able to pay them all in 1 year. And today, the staff of NDDC are highly motivated to work. Having paid the allowances that were being owed for 1 year, we also went further, because we realized that this staff were being taunted by bank loans. Bank loans which they took, interest rate inflation was almost killing most of our staff, because we saw that most of our staff, the death rate was high. And when we checked, the death rate was based on cardiovascular issues. And we now knew that it was based on the loans they were owing. Courtesy of the board and management of NDDC, the board and management decided to buy off these loans from the bank. I can assure you that all the staff loans that were in the bank, we have bought them over, and we're also deducting them from their salaries and their allowances. So today, NDDC staff, they are loan-free, they are debt-free, and they are motivated to work. We had to do this to ensure that for us to go to the field to work, we must see people that are willing to work. And that has also given birth to quality projects that we're doing today, because the NDDC staff, they are committed towards the new vision of the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President, which is all about sustainability, because the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President in NDDC, we define it as a social contract transmitting ideas and vision into reality. And it is the ideas and vision that we are transmitting into reality that is building back that confidence of the people of the Niger Delta in NDDC. We have the Operation Light Up the Niger Delta that has also reduced crime in most of our communities, improved commerce in most of our communities. If I keep reeling out all what we have done, which we've also mentioned in our press conference, will bore you. This program is starting late. I wouldn't want to take much of your time. But in closing, I want to assure you that we in the board and management of NDDC, we are here to carry out, as apostles of the Renewed Hope agenda, to take this gospel round the nook and crannies of Nigeria,
by using projects to show what Mr. President is capable of doing. Using projects to show the love Mr. President has for the Niger Delta people. That is what we have asked to do. We are very, very privileged to have a minister who is himself an engineer, who has not only supported us administratively, but has also supported us technically. We appreciate you, the Honorable Minister. We have a board that has been very, very strong, reading out all the policies for us to carry out. We have the National Assembly that is also headed by the President of the Senate, who is here, always attending all our programs, giving us that support, ensuring that all our appropriations are passed expressly. We have to thank you, Mr. Senate President. I'll still come back to the Senate President, but the chairman of the Senate Committee and the chairman of the House Committee, they are young men. He's a young man and a young woman that have done very, very well in supporting us. And all the members of the National Assembly, even the Speaker himself, have given us all that support. We have stakeholders from the region. We have traditional rulers. All of you have given us that support. The trust which you've given to us, we are here to assure you that we are not going to betray that trust. Because if we betray that trust, we are failing His Excellency, the President of this country. Mr. President has warned us that as part of our objective, we must complete all the legacy ongoing projects in the Niger Delta, and that is what we are doing so far. We are going to start new ones, balancing them with completing the old projects.
Let me at the outset congratulate the NDDC on the work it has thus far carried out for the people of the Niger Delta. If I'm a bit critical in my speech, you know me, I mean it for good, because I think you have done a lot, but you still have a lot to do. The NDDC was established in 2000 by President Obasanjo as a successor to UNPADEC, which had been in operation since the days of the military government. This was in response to the cries of marginalization and neglect by the people of the Niger Delta region, where Nigeria's oil and gas resources are concentrated. Since then, it has undergone some changes before evolving into its present structure as a parastatal under the Ministry of Regional Development. Oil exploration and production by its nature often poses a challenge for the environment in the form of pollution of the land and waters. Gas flaring is another hazard that the people in the vicinity had to deal with. Recognition of these challenges by the government was therefore a commendable first step, which was backed up by the establishment of a special intervention agency. This agency, you, the NDDC, cannot afford to fail and let people down, because that would amount to being victimized twice. As is well known, the oil and gas sector accounts for about 90% of Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings and 70% of its fiscal revenue, which is why it is regarded as the lifeblood of the economy. It is therefore essential that the region is given the necessary attention so that the people feel their concerns are being addressed. The goose that lays the golden egg deserves special attention in the form of good infrastructure and social services to ensure there is peace in the area so it can continue to contribute optimally to the economy of the country.
I'm representing His Excellency, the distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, the Executive Governor of Imo State, who is the chairman, governors of NDDC, the 9 states governors of NDDC. He's the chairman of the forum. And just right here, I'll be making his speech on behalf of all the governors of that NDDC states. We are here to congratulate the NDDC Commission for a job well done. You are celebrating a well-deserved 25 years in pushing all the issues concerning the NDDCs and making a difference indeed. His Excellency, at this point, I want to thank His Excellency, the President. I will also extend the thanks to the Chairman, Governors Forum of NDDC, I also want to thank the Chairman, Senate Committee on NDDC, and his brother senators. I will at this point also thank especially the Chairman and the CEO of NDDC for a job well done. You have established interrelationship between the 9 NDD states by building roads, infrastructure, by building bridges across these states and making a difference indeed.
I came to speak on behalf of the Association of Traditional Rulers of Oil Mineral Producing Communities of Nigeria, TRUMCON. And of course, NDDC is a brainchild of TRUMCON. And so permit me to pay glowing tribute to our past chairman, who actually traveled several times to Abuja to meet Mr. President, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, in 1999, 2000, and when NDDC was officially set up. And that is His Royal Majesty Ororo I, the Oroje of Okpe Kingdom of blessed memory. And of course, the Oba of Okbaland, Chukwemeka Inam Obi II, the Oba of Okbaland, who was also on that journey several times. And Edidem Udo, the paramount ruler of Ona Kingdom, Ona local government area of Akwa Ibom State. And my brother, the late Pharaoh of Simbre Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Charles Ayemi Potu of blessed memory. And of course, NDDC, like I said earlier on, is a brainchild of TRUMCON. And because I was also involved in the discussions that led to the setting up of this commission. And there and then, we have also played our role in assisting in maintaining the peace that we currently enjoy in the Niger Delta region. Of course, several commissions, boards have been put in place, but today I can beat my chest to say that the current board, led by the chairman and the MD, have actually done very well. One takeaway there is that there has been no infighting from the time of inception to date. And unlike the previous administrations, where you see the MD fighting with the chairman and of course with the executive director of finance and administration. But today you have a board that is working in synergy, and of course the resilience of this current board is top notch. Your sense of ingenuity is something that cannot be wished away. At 25, you have done so well, and at all the nooks and crannies in Niger Delta have experienced the NDDC in one way or the other, particularly in my community, where before now there was no road, but NDDC brought road to us, although the road currently suffers a setback, but I know that in no sooner than later, this road will be set up. And I can assure you that going forward, the traditional rulers of the region will lend their support and ensuring that in another 25 years, the dividends of democracy will be very clear to all and sundry.
NDDC, with all due respect, is a full realization and delivery of the aspirations of our people from the time of our founding fathers, the Pabriye, Okoye-Arikpo, Melford Okilo, and all of that generation, Dr. Dodoma, who went to London in 1957, at the twilight of Nigeria's independence as we approached it, to demand that we, the people of Niger Delta, because of the peculiar terrain where we find ourselves and the developmental challenges, we want to be given an opportunity to be treated specially. Fortunately, oil came, and all that is history. So this is a signpost. This is a realization of the object of our unity as a people and our contributions to the growth of Nigeria in the past nearly 70 years. of oil production. So we thank Mr. President. I will continue to look on the federal government to support all the work of the NDDC to realize the objective for which it was established. We thank all those who are in charge, the two ministers, the Minister of Regional Development, our own son and brother, and the Minister of States, who is his brother, and the National Assembly for the support you are giving to this management. We, the people of the Niger Delta, will work with the NDDC to realize all the objectives, and we thank you all.
These great men and women of the Niger Delta have served. They have served the commission, they have served the people. And it's only right that today, as we celebrate the Silver Jubilee of NDDC, that we applaud and appreciate them. With your kind permission, it is now my very, very singular honor and privilege to please invite the past chairman and chief executives of the Niger Delta Development Commission that are here with us in person. From the list available to me, I understand that the pioneer chairman, Chief Onyema Ogochukwu, is here. Managing directors, Chief Ndutimi Alaibe, Sir Basi Dan Abia, Mrs. Osato Areinka, Dr. Christian Obo, Dr. Christiana Atako, and Mr. Isima Ekere. Unfortunately, the others are not able to join us here in person, but of course we have their best wishes and prayers. Please let's appreciate them as they come up. Thank you very much, SARS. I would also, the current MD, can you please come and join, because it says past and present. Yes, please, if you would kindly give us a few remarks. Fine, thank you, sir. Yes, please.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my, I should say, former colleagues, I want to thank God for the NDDC that it is able to celebrate its Silver Jubilee, where in the past other efforts had failed. I want to congratulate the present board of the NDDC for the wonderful job they are doing. They have raised the bar in so many ways, and they are living the dream of the NDDC and the vision that led to the foundation of the NDDC. I want to congratulate them, and I also want to thank the government for keeping this board together. Part of the problem the NDDC had in the past was frequent changes in its board and management. Boards were removed after every 2 years. I want to appeal to the government to please let this board that is performing complete its tenure, and maybe find a way also to allow for overlap of one tenure with another so that there will be institutional memory. It will help the NDDC. The NDDC has achieved a lot. I want to congratulate them, but there is still a lot to be done in the Niger Delta. It can be done, like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said. It must be done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Happy anniversary, NDDC.
Your Excellencies, today we have all gathered here to reflect on our journey and achievements and to honor our founding fathers and all those, both living and departed, whose sacrifices birthed what we know as the Niger Delta Development Commission. As the chair of the 7th Governing Board, I'm proud to state that we stand united as a team with a shared vision, sincerity of purpose, and commitment, supported by a strong management team led by Dr. Sam Ogbuku. Our modest achievements would not have been possible without the foresight and vision of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has demonstrated unparalleled dedication to the development of the Niger Delta. To Mr. President, we salute you, we appreciate you, and we thank you for the confidence you have reposed in us. Our very special thanks goes to our former president, a true son of the Niger Delta, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, for his fatherly role and always honoring our invitation. We know that you had to break your journey from one of the West African countries to be with us here today. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for all you've done for the region and for the nation. The National Assembly has always been an integral part of the existence and activities of NDDC. Their commitments to the birth of NDDC was so resolute in 2000 that the 4th National Assembly overrode a presidential veto to pass the NDDC bill. This is an unprecedented move that I dare say still remains the only instance of such an override in Nigeria since the advent of this democratic dispensation. This support has even grown stronger and more encouraging with the 10th National Assembly under the leadership of His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, supported by our committee chairman in the National Assembly, in the persons of Senator Asuko Ekpenyong and Honorable Eriatake Ibori Swenu, and members of their committee. We're indeed grateful for the collaborative and harmonious working relationship, and we look forward to a stronger relationship. Thank you very much, Mr. Senate President. Stakeholder engagement and collaboration is one area that we place a very high premium. We've had a series of stakeholder engagements, but more importantly is the support we get from the Niger Delta governors. We're grateful to Your Excellencies, the governors of the Niger Delta states, who have continued to support us. And this is led by the governor of Imo State and the chairman of the advisory committee, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma. We will continue to interface with the governors and the states and work with them based on needs assessments. Your Excellencies, thank you for the support thus far. I would like to very specially recognize and thank some of our past leaders, to be precise, the class of 1999 governors of the NDDC mandate states, namely Chief James Ibori, Obong Victor Atta, Dr. Peter Odili, Chief Lucky Gbenedio, Chief Achike Udenwa, Senator Ojiuzo Kalu, Mr. Donald Duke, Chief Adebayo Adefarati, and the late Governor General himself, Chief DSP Alamesega, of blessed memory. All these men were instrumental in ensuring the birth of NDDC and its takeoff. They worked very closely with the members of the National Assembly at the time to ensure that the NDDC saw the light of day. To them, to those living and no longer with us, we're indeed grateful for the energy and effort you put in ensuring that the NDDC came to life. Honorable Minister, sir, We are indeed very grateful for your unwavering support. You have always supported us, together with the Honorable Minister of State and the entire Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. We don't take your supervisory role for granted. We know that it takes a lot from you to always be with us here in the region every time we have an event. To the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Engineer Abubakar Momo, and the Minister of State, His Excellency Uba Megari Amadu, we say thank you very much, sirs. To our founding fathers, scholars, community leaders, civil society organizations, youths, women, and persons too numerous to mention, your agitations and struggles against the neglect, poverty, underdevelopment, and environmental degradation suffered by the region is why we can all gather here today to reflect on our past and celebrate NDDC at 25. We remain deeply indebted to you for your dedication and tenacity in realizing the dream of NDDC. As we say our goodbyes, we would like to also very specially thank our keynote speaker, a true daughter of the Niger Delta and a great expert of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have listened to you very carefully, and we assure you that we will continue to do our best and ensure that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is intertwined with our activities to ensure that at the end of our tenure, we can look back and allow posterity to judge us very fairly. Once again, I thank each and every one of you for your time and attention. God bless the Niger Delta region. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. We thank you most sincerely, the Chairman, Governing Board. Once again, we congratulate all past chairmen and managing directors of the NDDC. I saw my Oga in the media, Chief Ugochukwu. Good evening, sir, my Oga. We would like to congratulate the chairman of the board, who has spoken well and extended his thankfulness to everyone worthy. And like I mentioned, he has delivered his vote of thanks as is expected of a man of his personality as Chairman, Governing Board, NDDC. Let's give another round of applause to Mr. Chiedu Ebe Esquire, Chairman, Governing Board.
I'm indeed very glad to be here today to make a few remarks on this very auspicious occasion marking 25th anniversary of NDDC. For me, this occasion is not only a celebration of the Commission's journey, but also a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to the sustainable transformation of the Niger Delta development. 25 years ago, in response to the passionate yearnings of the people of Niger Delta and in recognition of the immense contributions of the region to the socio-economic development of the nation, the federal government established the NDDC. The Commission was tasked to catalyze infrastructural and socio-economic development, act as a bridge between the federal government and host communities, and tackle the unique challenges facing oil-producing areas in the region. Indeed, the creation of NDDC was a bold step and a victory accord in justice, equity, and inclusiveness. May I therefore seize this singular opportunity at this juncture to remark that we are celebrating today because the NDDC Act was passed by the National Assembly. Like somebody said today, the bill itself was an executive bill, but the final passage of the bill was that of the National Assembly. Because at the time the bill was passed to act, that was on the 1st and 6th of June by the House of Representatives and Senate in 2000, the then president declined assent. And it took the courage, steadfastness, magnanimity of the then presiding officers of the National Assembly, led by distinguished Senator Chuba Okadigbo and Honorable Gali Umar Naba, to pass that bill to act. And that is why the NDDC today is in existence. I think I will therefore use this opportunity for us to appreciate these gentlemen and also members of the then National Assembly, and in particular, members of the National Assembly from Niger Delta region, because they rally support among their colleagues to ensure that the bill was passed. It's part of the then president declining asset. I also want to appreciate the then president, Olusegun Obasanjo, because if it were other presidents, say, well, since I didn't sign it and you veto me, I will not implement. But throughout his period, he implemented the act. And so also other subsequent presidents. And also to commend our president here, Jonathan, President Goodluck Jonathan, for the role he played to ensure that the activities of Niger Delta development move from strength to strength. Let me say that over the past quarter century, the NDDC has made significant progress in the area of infrastructure, education, and health, skill acquisition, and empowerment. In the life of this administration, with me as Minister of Niger Delta and now Regional Development, I have not only witnessed this progress, I have also supervised it along with my colleagues, the Honorable Minister of State, the Permanent Secretary, and the directors of the ministry. I want to say that in area of infrastructure, NDDC has constructed thousands of roads, kilometers of roads, jetties, bridges, and power stations. For example, last year alone, a good number of legacy projects that were abandoned in the past were commissioned. It has been mentioned that the Ogbean-Ebe Road, about 27 kilometers, was one of the legacy projects of this administration, but it was abandoned, not completed because of lack of funding. When this board came on board, money was provided by the president, and that project was completed and commissioned last year. We also saw to the commissioning of Okitikupa electricity projects that serve almost 5 states in only those states. For about 15 years, that region did not get electricity. But with this current board of NDDC, and with the intervention of Mr. President, money was provided, and that project saw the light of the day. And I was very much thrilled that while we were there, the governor of the state did mention that he was a member of the board of NDDC when that project started, that he was the happiest that he was now sitting as the governor of the state to see that the project saw the light of the day. So these are very, very important projects that were commissioned last year, including the 600-meter Ibeno Bridge and 7 kilometers Leak Road. We also commissioned the Ikobauka substation last year and a host number of other projects. This year alone, I know the number of projects that we have commissioned within the Niger Delta. Is it the network of roads in Imo State, in Ghana local government, or the 23 kilometers network roads in Abia, the Oyibo, and Abraka, Bini, Phase 1. All these projects have been commissioned by NDDC and a number of others that are still on board. In the area of education and health, the NDDC has taken the lead in uplifting the lives of the people of Niger Delta through the construction and equipping of schools and hospitals. Recently, I attended the flying off of the free medical outreach and provision of ambulances and other medical equipment to selected hospitals in the 9 states of Niger Delta under the partnership of NDDC and the Renew Hope initiative of our First Lady. And also, under the same partnership, the NDDC acquired and distributed about 45,000 units of ULSC to various primary and secondary schools in Niger Delta. In 2024, the NDDC carried out free medical treatment and was able to treat about 32,000 patients in that SSRs alone. This trend has been going on for more than 10 years. And in a similar vein, since 2010, NDDC has been involved in foreign scholarships when every year students of the region, about 200, are set on foreign scholarship. And this is done in order to develop human capacity in the region.
The NDDC 25th Anniversary Plenary Session was more than a celebration. It was a call to action. As the Commission steps into a new era, the emphasis is on transparency, inclusion, and impactful development. Thank you for joining us on NDDC You as we revisit this significant event. To stay informed about the progress and stories shaping the Niger Delta, keep watching. Until next time, stay connected.